Hello there, and welcome to what is episode one of a podcast series that I want to start doing on my page. So I think it's very easy to assume. Wait, let me move this closer because I don't know what you can hear. Sorry about the sound. It's very easy to assume that this is going to be something to do with fitness or anything like that. Because if you follow my Instagram page or anything like that, it is mainly to do with fitness. But I do touch up on things that are like social issues and things that interest me, and they aren't typically restricted to fitness. So this is what this podcast is going to be about. And I'm hoping that we can engage and discuss and debate and agree to disagree and agree if we can on some of the issues that plague mankind. I think if you've been following me long enough, you know that I like to, like on Instagram specifically, I like to, I like to talk about social issues, sometimes politics. It should be known, it should be noted that I am not an expert in any of those things. I just like to have an opinion. Um, so again, a lot of what I'm going to be talking about this is going to be more opinion based than anything else. Obviously, some research is going to be included in there because I think there's a problem when people talk about things and as if they know. Like I'm never gonna pretend I know more than a professor in a particular subject, simply because I don't. May have an opinion, but I don't know more than than the experts. I think the title for this should be "I am not an expert" because I'm not. I'm just a guy that likes to talk about these things and engage with people and find out people's opinions on certain things. And I think that's what it's going to be about. It's just about us engaging and talking and kind of going through some of the things that happen in within society. Is it going to be restricted to just British society? Probably not. I think there's a wider world out there than just the borders of the UK. So I'm gonna attempt to explore the world. Um, this has been something that I've wanted to do for a long time, to be honest. I've wanted to do something like this for a long time, but for whatever reason, there's this fear of exposure. I don't know if that's just me, or if some of you guys may also suffer from or feel the same thing. But sometimes you want to do something, but the fear of judgment, the fear of people, what are they gonna think about this? I'm gonna be talking about such and such, and how are people going to receive this? And sometimes that can block us. It has definitely in the past blocked me from doing a lot of things that I wanted to do. Um, so we're now in 2021, and my thought process was, okay, you've been wanting to do this for a long time. It's the 3rd of January now, and I was meant to have done this on the first. And I say I procrastinate, but it's not because I procrastinated that I haven't done this yet. It's because I'm terrified, if I'm honest. So, um, 2021 is going to be the year of deliberate exposure, because I think there's growth in exposure, there's growth in vulnerability, and we don't necessarily teach, especially men. We don't teach men to be vulnerable, and I think that creates. So there's this ongoing. Sorry, just tap the mic there. There's this ongoing thing about toxic masculinity, and some people argue that there is no such thing, and some people obviously argue that there is. I think there is certain traits of masculinity that are sort of perpetuated by society that are potentially toxic. Um, like for instance, the idea that a man is a man and he doesn't show any vulnerability. It doesn't show any emotions, and that kind of thing. That I think that's when masculinity becomes toxic. But that is a subject for another day, because I do think there's a whole series, there's a whole episode of that we could do on toxic masculinity and how and the expectations of society on men. I know we over the last few years we've talked a lot about society's expectation on women, but I think in talking about society's expectation of women, we may have neglected or put aside some of the pressures that men definitely go through because of society's expectation of them. But again, this is something that I'm not an expert on. I've just I've seen and I guess paid attention to certain things that have happened, and that has led me to think that. Obviously, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I know everything. I know nothing actually. I know absolutely nothing about what I'm going to talk about. I know, but what I want to do is discuss. That's a good. I haven't thought of a topic or a title for this podcast series, but really, what I want to do is just open discussions, so that we can talk, and through talking, we may be able to solve some of these issues, and we may be able to help some people dealing with some of these issues. And that's not to say all of it is going to be like issues that people are dealing with. It could be absolutely anything that I find interesting that week that I think, ooh, I would like to talk about that. So I will talk about it. I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought of a topic or a title for the podcast. So if anybody has any suggestions, help your boy out. I don't know. I was thinking something like, man, it's slipped my mind now. Uncensored, because I don't want censorship. So I want people to be able to talk about what they think about things without feeling like they're going to be judged. So that's where I'm going with it. It's uncensored. Let's talk this is like, so I've got COVID, and this is my mum's remedy to dealing with COVID, and it's honey, ginger, and lemon in a hot drink. And I've come to realize that this is actually quite a universal sort of remedy. My mom is Zimbabwean African, born and raised. She came over here when she was an adult, so I was 14. And I find out that actually people in Spain still do the same thing. That's their remedies: honey, lemon, and ginger. The British also have the same remedy. Isn't that interesting? Again, I don't know if I don't know the historical context of that, if that's like based on anything or if it's just coincidence. But I just find it interesting that my mom had the same remedy that someone in Britain would, or someone in Spain or wherever else would have, which is very interesting to me. But I digress a little bit. So as I was saying, we will be discussing. Well, I'm hoping some of you guys will engage with me on it. But I don't want this one to be super long because it's not. It's just an introduction. I don't even know how long this has been running for. I don't know how long this has been running for. But I'm going to cut it there. Simply because, again, an intro is an intro. I don't want an intro to be 10 hours long or whatever. So where are you going to find this podcast? I'm hoping to put it on sort of your audio formats, so Spotify and iTunes. And I don't know if there are any other podcast hosting platforms out there. It's just Spotify and iTunes are the only ones that I know. But obviously, if there are, then I'll put it up on there. Just tell me which ones you sort of get your podcast from, and I'll try and put this up on there. There's also going to be a video format of it because obviously I'm recording. That's why I'm looking at you, lovely people. That's going to be. I'm going to try and put it on YouTube. I haven't set up a YouTube page for it yet, but bear with me. There's a lot of work to be doing here. But I am excited simply because this is uncharted territory for me. I've never done something like this before, even though I've always wanted to. I've never had the courage, the bravery to do such a thing. I've always thought, no one will want to listen. Odds are nobody wants to listen to this. But maybe one person does, and that one person, I appreciate you a lot, because it's just you, my friend. Anyway, I'm going to cut this there, and any feedback that one may have for me. So if you think my audio is a bit weird, and I could, you know how I can adjust that, because again, I am not an expert. So audio, don't know. I just plug the thing in and I press record. So hopefully that works. Cameras, don't know. I just plug the thing in and I press record. So the editing process is going to be interesting, because I don't know how I'm going to sync this audio to the video. But we'll see. It's going to be a learning process. Again, any feedback that you may have that can make this a more seamless, more easy process for me to produce and distribute, I would greatly appreciate that. But for now, thank you very much for watching this far in. Thank you very much for listening this far in, if you're listening. And I'm hoping, obviously, next week I'll be coming in with another episode of this beautiful journey that we're going to go on together, of discussing social issues and politics and all the rest of it in between, everything, basically. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and peace.